And this side of heaven, we're on earth right now. And there's a lot of stuff that happens on earth while we're here. Like in my life, in your life, in our life, Winston's life. So, and the idea behind the podcast is just talking about a lot of different things. So I didn't want to lock it into a certain niche or anything because there's a lot to talk about. So like this side of heaven, like we're talking about the other side of heaven. So, and we're live. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Caulin.
And I'm Paris. Thanks so much for tuning in to episode 2.
Episode 2. It's just crazy how fast they go by.
Even though you've been editing episode 1 all week and probably just posted it this morning.
Yeah. No, I was on time with the Wednesday release.
Oh, you released it Wednesday?
Oh, wait, no. Well, I uploaded it on Wednesday. And I didn't announce that it was uploaded until Friday.
It's so funny because...
So it technically released on Friday.
Yeah, because you sent it out to me and said... how does this look? Or you said something like, how does this sound?
Yeah.
So then I sent, so then I sent the whole link to my family and my dad's like, where do you watch the link to watch the video? I can't see anything. And then my mom texted and was like, am I doing something wrong? There's no video.
There's no video. Well, you're on Spotify. You're on Apple Podcasts. No, I'm just kidding. Lynn and Neil, sorry.
No, but they gave us all the support. They said they listened and they loved it and it was a good idea.
We've already had some like pretty decent support so far from just a random group of people. I mean, like they're not random, but just a good amount of people who have already found our
Family,
Instagram.
friends,
They found our YouTube or Spotify, all that good stuff. So just a reminder, we do stream this on all major podcasting platforms. So Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, and then we share the video on YouTube. And I'm working on Rumble. If you guys know what Rumble is, you probably don't even know what Rumble is.
I've never heard of it.
So it's just a newer platform. It's just like a alternative for YouTube. So I'll be sharing that there as well. I think there's a 25-minute upload limit, but I have to figure that out. I've never posted on Rumble, so it'll be there as well. And
I'm not laughing at you, but the fact that Winston is sleeping right now.
Oh, really? He's asleep?
Yeah.
Yes, this is our dog Winston. He's
here for it. He's asleep.
Yeah, he is asleep right now on my leg. He's really stressed. He had a really long day today. Long day of work. But yeah, welcome back. This is episode 2. So I was going to make an announcement with this episode. Obviously a brand new setup. I was going to make a big announcement. But with the theme of this video, I was informed by my lovely fiance that this the theme of the video kind of plays into what I was going to bring up. And I didn't know this until like literally right before we hit record. So
should I talk about the theme of it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have been back and forth. Another comment from my family that we got was my sister watched the podcast and she said, you guys are all over the place. What is this disaster?
Which is, like we kind of said that up front last podcast.
And we said the first episode is so hard because you're kind of all over. You don't know what you want to say. You don't know how you want to put things in logical order. You're just kind of saying things as they come to your mind. So this episode, we talked a little bit about who we are in the first episode. So I figured for the second episode, I'd create a list of questions and ask Caulin questions, getting to know a little bit more about him and his life and a little bit more about the podcast, the name of the podcast, and where we see the podcast going in the future.
And I have not seen these questions in advance, so I have no idea what she's going to ask me. It's random, or it's completely random to me. So I have no idea what these questions are.
Yeah, I thought of the questions on the way here. I didn't know. He gave me this whole speech on how to get an audience and how to draw people in. And as I'm typing in questions, I'm like, and what's your favorite?
What's your favorite color?
So I'm like, okay, I have to think
of
more in-depth questions. But I tried to come up with some ones that I feel like go a little bit deeper, more than surface level on like who you are, things that people would traditionally know about you. So some of them are pretty easy, but then some of them are a little bit more in depth. So we'll get through those. I have about, I think like 15 questions. So we'll try and answer all of them. If we're running out of time, we'll just cut them.
Yeah. And then one last thing. So before we get into the video, or the podcast, wherever you're watching this. It would be really great if you could drop a like, drop a subscribe, drop a follow. It would just help us out because, I mean, we're doing this to hopefully build an audience and reach the right people and
That's always the one
have
thing
fun.
I hate when people do.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to plug
Like,
yourself.
subscribe, follow.
Like, subscribe, and follow. Yeah, but seriously, I mean, it would mean a lot if you would leave a like or actually a comment. Actually, comment below or wherever you're watching this, what you like about the new setup. It would be cool. So we do have a new setup. And then
Wait,
actually,
let's just
actually on Spotify, there's a really cool. They just released a feature, just really quick, and then we'll get into the video. I promise. There's a pool that, like a POLL, a pool on, I don't know where, but it's brand new. So interact with the pool. Watch out for those like that really cool feature on there. It's new. Anchor was purchased by Spotify. It's a place where you can host your podcast, and then it like shoots it out to all the platforms. But anyway, they purchased Anchor, so it was a new feature with that update. But anyway,
what I was going to say really quickly, since you said for them to comment on the new setup.
Yeah.
I made a comment last podcast or our first episode how it took 3 hours to set up. But this time, here to say that it took longer.
It actually did take
So
longer.
we get everything set up, and Colin's like, "Oh no!" And I was like, "Wait, what?" And he said, "I forgot the memory cards."
Oh my
So
gosh,
we
I
had to
drive
go
all
home,
the way back home to get the
and get the memory cards
cards.
because we didn't have memory cards for the cameras.
You know when you feel that too, whenever you're, it's like
it's like when you're
it's like
going
when you
away
travel,
and
you just like you feel like you forgot something. But I said in my head, I was like, I have all my gear and I have everything. I know I have it. And yeah, we were just about to hit record, and I'm like, what are we going to record on? There's nothing in the cameras. And I was like, I left the memory cards at home, so we had to drive all the way back. But
anyway, let's get into the questions. We'll start off.
I'm actually really excited about these.
I know. We'll see
again,
how
I have no idea what these are. This is really exciting.
I'll try. If you have an answer for all of them, we'll try and get through them.
Like, are they in?
I mean, I tried to make them in order so they flow from one to the next, but some of them I was just kind of typing as I was coming up with a thought, so they might not go in order. But we'll
nervous.
We'll start off. So I know that you did tell us a little bit about yourself already.
Yeah.
But so you know how when you watch like a movie, like Wolf of Wall Street, and he's like, "Sell me this pen."
Yes, I know that part.
So you know how when they're like, they say that you lose someone's attention or after like the first how many ever seconds, that's like how people retain information, and then after that they're gone.
Right.
So instead of you going into depth on like who you are, I want to know who is Caulin in your elevator pitch. So you have about 30 seconds to say who you are and what makes you you.
Oh man. When is the clock start?
I'm just kidding. You don't have 30 seconds.
Who am I? I don't know if you remember from the last one. I am 31 years old. I am a creative. I do a lot of this. So for a living as my job, I know photography, videography, graphic design, editing, marketing, advertising, social media. So I'm just a creative. So like creative director. That's who I am. That's what I do on a daily basis. And I am a lover. I have a
lover, not a fighter.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I'm kidding.
I have a big heart. I mean, I love people. I worked at a church for 3 years. So not many people know that, but I worked at a church for 3 years. I thought that was my calling. It could be a whole nother. She probably has a question about it.
No, I don't.
So I just have a big heart. I mean, I love people. I love to help people. I think that's why we get along really well. I love to help people. One of 6 children, 3 brothers and 2 sisters who I love very much. We're very close, which is rare for a large family. We're really, really close. We don't really text as often. I'm calling all of you guys out. We don't really text that often, but we are really close. Like we do anything for each other. We're just all extremely busy.
Yeah,
we have a lot going on up here in our heads, so we're just kind of preoccupied, I think. But
that's what makes it fun when you guys all come together. There's so much to talk about, and it's just a good time. So I think that makes it
it's an adventure.
more important. Yeah, it's so fun.
But yeah, I mean, how'd I do in rapping?
That was good. So
Okay.
kind of leading off that question, you talked about your career and working at the church. So you
Yeah.
talked also that you work at a DME company.
A DME, a PDE company.
I'm kidding, but I thought about that since the last time we filmed on how I should have maybe said that. But anyway, one of the questions I wanted to know from you was you've done a lot of cool things in your career, even when we were watching. So Colin mentioned last episode, I'm a binge watcher when it comes to shows and Netflix. And
Big time binge watcher.
Colin, part of his creative career, he worked on he worked with Netflix and he got to travel, and we watched Narcos, and he was saying, oh, I met them, or oh, I was there where they filmed. And so well, that's kind of getting off topic, but the question that's kind of sparked my interest was, what's something that you've done in your career that you would redo? It doesn't necessarily have to be work-wise. It can be on a personal side as well. But what's something that you would redo in your career?
Is this like regret, or is this like
if you could go back, say
and just
you
change
turned down an
something?
opportunity, or
Yeah.
say you
Okay, so
chose
just anything that I would
Yeah.
change, yeah. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I was an Instagram influencer for a while. So I did, I was just a like lifestyle travel, like landscape photographer, generally speaking. So I had really cool opportunities there. I think, I wish I would have taken it more seriously when I was younger. Like I knew that it was kind of the wave at the time. It was like, you could travel and kind of make a living on Instagram or being an influencer. I wish I would have seen the bigger picture and just pushed harder to, I think, just grow my following at the time, just put more effort into it. I think I was just kind of lazy.
Yeah.
And that, I think it just hurt me. I just got lazy, and I kind of waited for things to come to me.
Yeah. I feel like you've mentioned that a lot throughout the last few years. You've definitely said that. That's been one. I notice a pattern that you would say you regret that.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think if you would have done that, though, you would have had more of a traditional path as to where you would have gone.
Yeah.
I think now you've done like a little bit of everything, which makes you more unique. If you would have stayed on that path, you would have probably been doing the same thing. But now, I mean, it would have opened a lot of doors, but I think you've gained a lot of new opportunities, even just staying where you're from and having connections as well. So I think that makes a difference. But
yeah, no, I think you're right.
I think that's a good answer. Okay.
Yeah.
The next question is,
Rapid
who is your
fire.
biggest role model and why?
My biggest role model. I'll give a real life, and then I guess they're both real life, but my role model growing up was probably Derek Jeter on the Yankees. He is like the man when it comes to sports. Anything sports, like I love the Yankees. I always have loved the Yankees, but love them because of him. He's just the pro's pro, just a good leader. He takes his job extremely seriously. He's there every day, works really hard. He was good. He was great on the field, but even better off the field. It was like helping people, and just how he was raised was kind of like how I was raised. Just a lot of discipline, like the good kind, and the bad, like a little bit of the bad. But the bad when you're younger, that's the one you don't like. But yeah, just you're just expected of a lot, and you just held to a higher standard. So I really loved him whenever I was growing up, because it was like my dad, who's probably my role model in life. We can go into a whole other video about that, but yeah, he's awesome. He's like, he set the example for especially me and my brothers on, how to, lead people and be there for your wife and be there for your kids, one day. Yeah, it's probably my dad. Just, there's not many other people that I really look up to in that way, but.
Yeah, no, I think so. You've mentioned that. I definitely noticed a lot of qualities that you got from both your parents, but definitely your dad, in a sense of your ability to lead others. I talked about that in the last episode, though. So I think that's spot on. So actually, this question's kind of similar, but if there's someone else that you could be for one day in the world, who would it be?
One day in the world. Elon Musk. No, I'm being dead serious. That would be insane to be Elon Musk. Just have the most money in the world. Like, I just wonder what he thinks on a daily basis, just knowing that he has the most money out of anyone in the world.
Yeah, but he works like crazy too.
Yeah, no, I mean, he does work like crazy, but I mean, you see, just he can just go to the World Cup, and he's just everyone. I mean, not everyone loves him, but most people do like him. Politics aside, he's extremely fascinating, and he's brilliant, and yeah, I just don't know how much you can fit all of that into, or I don't know how he fits all of that in one day. I thought my dad was extremely special when it came to working and like being able to build something, but Elon is just, I don't know how he does it. It's insane.
I'm surprised you said that. I wasn't expecting you to say Elon.
Who'd you think?
I don't know. I thought someone that was maybe, I don't know.
No, I think Elon's perspective on the world is insane.
For some reason, I feel like you
Twitter.
would say like being in a role to be the president or.
Oh, no.
I don't know, something like that. I would
never want to be the president of the United States ever. Never. Even though I'm really into politics, I would never want to be. That's such, like, you see when they go into office and then when they come out to office, they're in there for 4 years, but it looks like they've aged 10 to 12 years.
That's so
it's
true.
Crazy. Yeah. It's a hard job. I would never want that ever.
Well,
even for one day.
Well, in the realm of jobs, if money wasn't a factor, what would you do for a living?
Ooh, that's a good one. If money wasn't a factor, that's a good question. I'm not sure what I would do.
I feel like you would be a chef.
Oh, a chef would be fun. Yeah, I mean.
But I don't know, because I don't know if you would like to. You probably wouldn't like to cook for fun if you were a chef.
Yeah, no, because I worked at a restaurant for 3.5 years,
and you said it was
and it's extremely hectic.
Yeah,
and it was like middle of the road restaurant, so it's extremely hectic. If money wasn't an issue, I don't know. Like, I've always felt a desire to go, like, to Africa and like go build schools or like go build things like for other people, because I love to build stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very hands-on. I love to, like, build, fix, like, just use my hands.
My little fixer.
I love to, I love to do that stuff.
Oh my God, when Caulin and I broke up for a while, I was so impressed with myself because I put together a chair, and it's so funny because every time I needed something hung or something done, Caulin would come to the rescue, because my parents, like my mom, was always pretty handy. My dad too, but not as much. I mean, they weren't like ones to really build stuff. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I just never really saw them building things. And if they were, it wasn't like they were reading instructions and like following a manual. They were just like MFing, trying to put shit together, and then like why isn't this working?
That's true.
So I think I always watch you. That's like my biggest thing. I always watch you put things together, and I'm always in awe of like your ability to set things up and build stuff. It's just like amazing to me when I see you hang something. That's probably the easiest thing, but
I'm extremely stubborn in the sense that, I mean, because I'm like all over the board. I used to fix iPhones and like Macs and all that stuff, like, because I didn't want other people to do it, because I knew that I could probably do it myself.
That was actually one of the first things you did for me.
Oh, really?
Remember when?
Fix your laptop.
I have a laptop that's like
it was
the world's first
it was
Mac laptop. We always say it was the brick.
It's like what I had in middle school.
It really was, because I got it when I was in, I think, 9th grade.
Yeah.
So it was like over really 10 years old.
Yeah.
But you had an old Mac, and you're like, oh, I'll switch the battery out, even though it didn't change the brick.
Yeah.
But
No, I didn't change the brick. It did make it any better.
But that,
But yeah, so I mean, I love to fix stuff, and so. Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah. So we're kind of bouncing around, but I just wanted to throw this one in there because I had some questions sprinkled in about this, but I want to hear this before we move on. So if you had to say what your biggest insecurity is, what would you say it is?
Ooh, that's a good one. My biggest insecurity. Can you see me blushing on camera? No.
You don't even get nervous or anything, so.
No, I definitely get nervous. I get nervous for this.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. I just don't.
You tell me you never get nervous. You say
no.
You do well under pressure like this.
I do well under pressure, but I mean, I still get nervous.
Yeah, but you can talk in front of people, not like me. I used to get up and
but I get nervous though.
Yeah.
Insecurity. Oh man, my biggest probably my speech impediment.
Oh yeah,
For
I never
sure.
think of that because
I don't know if you guys are able to pick up on that.
I don't
but
realize that anymore.
it was really bad when I was younger, but it was like, and I don't think I've ever really even looked this up, but it's not a stutter. It's like
the inability to like get the words out.
I can't get the word out. So and it's like when I
notice
it's my like vocal cords like tighten up, and I almost forget to breathe. And so then I'm not like using my breath in order to get my words out. So, and it happened, and like the older I get, the more aware I am of it. But it's whenever I am really, really sleepy, and when I'm flustered, I would say. The 2 times when it's the worst.
That's probably when you notice it. I think for me, the times I notice
it's held me back a ton in my life.
I don't think so.
More than, oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You would say that?
Yes. I mean, I was a server, but it was so like, there's a lot of ways.
I think I notice it. The only time I notice when it comes out is when someone says, like, ask you, like,
oh, my name.
No,
that's true. The worst.
You always go,
and they're like,
call, and I'm like,
did you forget your name?
No,
I'm like, oh my gosh. No, I have a speech impediment. Then I got to explain it.
I think the most common is when there's not already a conversation flowing, and it's like if we go to order somewhere, or if you're like asked a question, or it's like the start of a conversation, then that's when you like kind of choke on your words, and then after that you can talk, and it's smooth.
Like once I get going, I can talk.
But it's like the initial like first word that comes out.
Yes, because I didn't breathe.
Yeah.
use your breath, Caulin.
Well, so I don't have an easy transition for this. It makes me think of what's his name? Adam Ragusea, when he has like the amazing transitions when he's cooking. He's like, in this ad.
When he has to do an ad, like
I'll have to work on these transitions. But my next question for you is, if you could, I know we always talk about this. We always like come up with these questions to each other when Caulin mentioned we're like thinkers and we love to talk through things. So we always ask each other, if you were on death row, what would your last meal be? But my question to him was, if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Pizza.
Pizza. I knew.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
You always
shout out to my older
especially on
sister.
the
She loves
diet.
pizza.
You always say that.
I hope
oh
she
yeah.
watches this.
You guys all love pizza.
We do, yeah. I mean, it's an American invention, but we are Italian German.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, pizza is it's almost like universal. It's like eggs. You can just eat eggs.
And it's never bad. I feel like that's like the one thing. You go to a restaurant and you can try a different pizza, but it's probably still good. It's not like you try something random on the menu and then you're disappointed and you were starving.
Yeah.
At least it always hits the spot. That is true. And it's good.
There's certain degrees of good pizza, and then there's great pizza, and there's no bad pizza. It's just good pizza. And then if you have hot sauce on top of your pizza, you can make any pizza amazing.
Well, you probably can't even taste
just Frank's
the pizza
Red Hot.
at that point.
Frank's Red Hot, just pour it on there. Oh, so good.
Pizza's the side at that point because you put so much sauce on it.
You want some pizza with your hot sauce?
So with that being said, since you do like Italian food, I already have a thought as to what you're going to say for this answer, but what is your favorite type of food to cook? Because you did mention how much you love to cook and you're creative in a sense of you just like to put things together. So when you're in the kitchen, what do you feel most confident cooking?
What do I feel most confident in cooking? I feel most confident cooking Italian food, like red sauces and white sauces.
I said that the other night.
Yeah. I asked her this. The other night. Here was my speech impediment. Slow down. I asked her this the other night. I was like, "What do you think I make, or like what genre of food is my best?" And she said Italian. So, but I enjoy making Italian. I think it's just natural. Like I grew up smelling Italian in my house, so I have a good sense of, and just eating it all the time. So,
and I think you're so good at like sauces are your expertise. I always say I can cook a meal, but if you can make the sauce, that's all I care about.
Bon appetito, Has anyone ever seen that guy on? He's all over the internet. Yeah, it's so funny. He's a chef. He's a TikTok chef.
But he's actually a good chef.
Yeah, he's a great chef.
It's not like
he's a great chef. Yeah.
That
It's
guy,
just a blend of talent.
he amazes me, and the other guy that you watch that cooks stuff from leftover foods or like fast foods.
Iron Chef Dad. Oh my gosh.
That's
If
amazing.
you guys need a good YouTube channel to watch if you're into cooking, search Iron Chef Dad on
you watch
YouTube.
that religiously.
So it's this Iron Chef and his youngest son, I believe. And his youngest son brings home a bag of Chick-fil-A and just asks his dad to make it gourmet, and he makes it gourmet. And he'll break it down to like, he'll mash the chicken from the chicken sandwich into nothing, and then mash like the bun into nothing.
Yeah, I'm always
and then
amazed
chop up the
how
lettuce and make it this gourmet. It'll blow your mind.
Yeah, that to me is like
watch it all day.
insane. I don't know how someone. I mean, that's like
And it's a great
next
idea.
level. Honestly,
Oh, it's next level. Yeah.
It's one thing to go to
unbelievable.
the store and buy ingredients and think of something you want to cook, but like something that's already been made, and then
But to deconstruct
it's almost like
a
going
meal
backwards and then
and then
thinking
going forwards. Yeah,
that to me is
It's-
insane.
Yeah, no.
But no, I would honestly pay to try one of his meals. That would be amazing. But so now you mentioned with your elevator pitch that you are in your 30s now. So if you could give advice to yourself in your 20s, what would you tell yourself at this stage in your life?
Get your shit together. No, like I'm being serious.
Yep, simple and to the point.
Yeah.
I like that.
Value, like, see what you have in front of you and value it and follow. I don't want to say follow your heart because that's stupid. Like, follow what you know is right. Don't get sidetracked.
What's the thing you like to say?
What?
Do the right or the next.
Oh, do the next right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to live by.
That's probably a good thing to say.
Yeah.
Like to me in my 20s is
Yeah.
always try your best to do
Because you
the
always
next
tell me
right
that.
thing.
You say life's a choice. So.
Yeah. Shout out to Bubby Golf if anyone's into
Good golf.
I mean, it's an older phrase, but
Is it good? Did I say?
yeah. Yeah.
I always just listen
they're a
from the
group of
background,
golfers.
but I'm not even into golf and they're entertaining. So
Yeah,
somehow I get hooked on all of your YouTube watching, like
Yeah.
everyone you watch. There's
I
this
watch good
one
YouTube
guy on
channels.
golf that just talks about the technique. And
Oh,
I'm
right.
like, oh God, not this guy again. He has a good accent, but it's like, how can you watch an hour of technique on golf? But I don't know. Caulin says it improves his game. So
It never does. I only get worse. Well, because then
one hole,
you just have to think about it too much,
The
and
first
then you just
ball
get
goes
worse.
into the woods. Shit.
Yeah, like I'm done.
After watching 10 hours of that. So we know we have some upcoming things this year that are taking place that we're excited about. So
A new dog.
I know what. Oh gosh, I want that yesterday. So from your perspective, I know what I'm most looking forward to this upcoming year, but what are you most looking forward to?
Getting married and having 8 kids like that. What, you think I'm
The
joking?
first year.
We're gonna have 9 kids, 8 kids, or 9.
It's actually crazy though to think like, I mean, some people do turn around quick. I know like my dad and his brother are born in the same calendar year.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I mean,
no.
we could make 2 babies happen a year.
We could if you wanted to.
I don't know. I mean, we still live in a 1-bedroom apartment. I don't even know where we would
We
find
can't
the
even fit
space
Winston in
yeah,
there.
honestly. He
Yeah.
sleeps in the bed. We're like literally off the bed and he's sprawled out in the middle.
He sleeps on my head in the mornings.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But
yeah.
we love him.
I would say getting married. I've wanted to be married my entire life.
Yeah, you've
wanted-
always said that since I've
My
known
parents
you.
were high school sweethearts, so I saw what that looked like. You know,
Yeah.
like staying in a marriage and like they got married
Mm-hmm.
at 20, like early 20s. I don't know the exact. Sorry, mom and dad. I don't know your exact ages when you got married, but yeah, they got married early 20s and were together
Mm-hmm.
and are still happily married. So, you know, like being married was a goal of mine.
I think
in
that that's
life,
important for
so.
both of us. I think
Yeah.
that's like
And
what
married
we
to the right girl.
Yeah.
Not just anyone.
I think that we definitely bond over that because both of our parents
Yeah, yours too.
met.
Yeah.
And well, your parents' high school sweetheart. I mean, that's so unique in and of itself. Like, I feel like a lot of people. I mean, there's like a specific stat that so many people stay together from high school, but I mean, I think it's so neat that both of our parents are still together because in today's age, so many people get divorced. So it's nice to
of
both
course,
have
yeah.
the
The
same
divorce rate.
structure of family life because I think that we both value that a lot.
Yeah.
So I love this one because this morning I woke up to Caulin. He's notorious for subscribing to things and then
See, I don't know where
not,
this is going.
not canceling his subscriptions. And then he gets charged like $150 and he's like,
trials.
Shit, I forgot to cancel that. And then he's on the phone with someone from a third world country, like talking about, can you cancel my subscription and refund me? So I feel like this would be one of your pet peeves, but it's probably not. If you had to say what your biggest pet peeve was, what would it be?
My biggest
That's
pet
probably
peeve.
not it, but that just made me
It's not a
laugh
pet peeve,
thinking
it's
of
just an
it.
annoyance. Well, I mean, it's on
What
me,
did you always
but
say to me? It's an inconvenience.
It's an inconvenience, yeah.
He hates when
I'm
people
inconvenience.
inconvenience him.
My biggest pet peeve. Oh, I never like this question because I don't know. I don't know if I have a biggest pet peeve from other
Okay,
people.
so if you had to say, maybe not just like in general, but do you have a pet peeve of something that I do?
You. Oh my gosh, I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what it is. When I leave things out in the apartment and I'll put them in a certain spot, like on the desk, and then I'll leave and I'll come back and it's gone. And then my mom did that whenever I was younger too. It was just like
It's just like
your stuff is just
it's
gone.
It's just funny at this point, I think.
My mom would throw it away though. At least you don't throw it away.
Yeah, no, I am super OCD. Like, I like things in a specific
Clutter.
place.
You
yeah.
don't like clutter.
I think
right?
everything should have a place.
Yeah.
So when you I have the house or the apartment completely clean, and then you come home and just scatter stuff everywhere. Oh my gosh,
Can't see mom, buddy.
Come here, buddy.
He's still looking.
But I feel like that always is one. I know that's your biggest pet peeve.
Oh my
Because you're
gosh.
always like, where's this? And I always know where everything is. But
you do know where it is. It's just like
I'm
when
like
I'm
top
looking for
cabinet
something,
on
or
the
if
left,
I'm rushing and I need
over-
to find
yeah.
it. Oh, it's just
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's funny because when we moved into our apartment, we have no storage. We literally have one closet that we share. And then we have a little closet when you walk in that we turned into a closet for our jackets. Yeah.
coats,
And then
shoes
like
and
we have
coats.
shelves on the bottom. And we got a little basket to hold Colin's wallet and just like winter hats and stuff. And when we first got that, I was like, okay, he always leaves his wallet on the counter. So I was like, we'll use this as just like a place for like clutter for when you get home, so you know where to go before you leave, so you make sure you grab it. And like literally for the first couple months maybe weeks, you had forgot to grab your wallet every time we went out, and you're like, I don't have my wallet, can you pay?
Oh, it was for months.
Yeah, that was
It
a
was for
while. And then
months,
you'd go to
yeah.
work and be like, I couldn't pay for like Susie's
Lunch.
Girl Scout cookies because
Yeah, because I didn't have money.
or
I
like
didn't
so
have my
and so
wallet.
wanted to sell me hoagies, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't buy them. Yeah. Oh, I
And
forgot
then
about that.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
you got used to it. So I think
Yeah.
it's just like making something a pattern. But that was always funny when that happened.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, the next question. This is more back to who you are. What's one misconception that you think that people have about you?
Oh man, that I'm a domestic terrorist.
What?
Probably because my politics.
I
Probably.
thought you were kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
Oh
I don't
my
know.
God. Sometimes-
I just kicked Winston.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, sorry, buddy. No, I mean, I'm kidding a little
okay,
bit.
like this isn't funny, but it kind of is because remember after you work, when you stopped working at the church, you started posting like, you're like, I don't care what people think about me and my politics. And then you started posting, you're like, people are going to be like, Colin's unhinged. Like,
Oh, yeah, like I lost my brain. Like I left the church and I'm just posting all this stuff.
Yeah, that's that. Well,
I mean, because I don't know. I mean, well, I don't want to stray too far from the question, but what's their biggest misconception about me? Yeah, I mean, probably, man, maybe that I bought my Instagram followers.
you always say that.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people thought I did,
Yeah.
but
I remember you telling me that.
I didn't. Yeah. Yeah, no, I was all organic, all natural, baby. I don't know. I mean, what's my I don't know. I really can't think. I don't really think about that often. Yeah.
I decided to throw it in there because sometimes people have an answer to it. But okay, so I know you said you wanted to do your big reveal, and I kind of took the limelight from you by incorporating in this question. So I did let you know that we might put this in one of my questions. But I know when you were thinking of a name of the podcast, you were like, what does this side of heaven mean to you? And then I had given you my answer, and I had said what I thought.
Name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to Well, I guess we could beep that out.
No,
But
I mean, it's going to be
so
in
we
the,
know, yeah.
in the
So
title. I mean,
as I
everyone
just
knows.
said, the name of the podcast is going to be This Side of Heaven. And I want to hear, since you were the brains behind it, what
Yeah.
does that mean to you, and how did you think of that?
So with anything, again, I mean, this ties back to my dad, is that like when I pick anything brand wise, I want it to be more than just a name or a catchy name. I mean, I want it to be catchy, but I also want it to be more than that. I want it to have a deeper meaning. And so I wanted to incorporate us as a couple. I've known you for so long, and we
Yeah.
have so many things that we share together, interests and like our love for each other and all that. So that was important to me. My faith. So I am a Christian. You're also a Christian. I believe in Jesus, and so I wanted to incorporate that. And being a creative, I pull a lot of inspiration from music and things that I watch. And yeah, it's like those two things, like watching and then music is huge for me. So Matt Carney is an artist that we both have loved. I mean, we bonded over Matt Carney over
Yeah.
over
He's
like
one of the
16 years
few.
ago.
I think him.
It was like one of the
of
first things
yeah.
that we bonded over because I
We always
showed you his
bonded over
music.
music.
Yeah, we
Whether
always
it was
bonded
like
over
a funny
music,
song
but
or
it's like lovey-dovey music like that. His music was like, it was, I don't know what it was about his music. We loved it. So when I was thinking about naming this podcast, I was like, I'm going to listen to some Matt Carney and see where my brain goes. So now I'm listening to this one song. It's called Ships in the Night by Matt Carney. Wow, like I've said his name like 80 times already. Matt Carney, in case you weren't listening. So Ships in the Night, and one of the lines in there is, it ends with "This Side of Heaven," and I was like, "Ooh, that sounds pretty good." So shout out to Matt. But yeah, so "This Side of Heaven," so it's a song that we loved, probably our favorite album of his. And this side of heaven, we're on earth right now, and there's a lot of stuff that happens on earth while we're here, like in my life, in your life, in our life, Winston's life. So, and the idea behind the podcast is just talking about a lot of different things. So I didn't want to lock it into a certain niche or anything because there's a lot to talk about. So like this side of heaven, like we're talking about the other side of heaven. So just earthly things and being real and authentic. And like you've heard us swear just a few times already, but it's like that's who we are. I mean, we don't
we
swear like a
yeah.
sailor, but
No.
I mean, we're relaxed. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. I mean, at least I don't think it is. So it's like, this is who we are. I mean, it's just who we are. Like I'm not going to apologize for it, and I'm actually proud of it. So yeah. So this side of heaven, it's earthly things because I want to go to heaven
You wrapped that
after
up in
this.
like a perfect box.
Was it pretty good?
Yeah, it was
think
really
so?
good. I
Okay,
like
good.
that.
Oh,
No,
wow.
I
Thank
think
you, baby.
that's no. When you asked me that, that was like kind of what I said too. I said something similar to that, but no, I think you put it perfectly. So, my last question for you. This is the easiest one, I think. You were the one that were the again the brains behind wanting to start a podcast, and especially
Yeah.
a podcast between both of us. I know you said you wanted to do things that were maybe on your own as well because you do have a lot of talents. So, what is your ultimate goal of this podcast, whether it be short term or long term?
Short term and long term. I'll do a short term and a long term. I think the short term goal was to hold myself accountable, hold us accountable. It's just one thing that we can look forward to every week that I don't care if we get 0 views or 100,000 views. It's just something that we can
it's
do
fun for us to do together.
every week. We can spend time together. We can just talk. I think that's the short-term goal. Long-term, I don't know. Hopefully our audience grows and we can provide insight and advice to other people who might be in a similar situation, or you know.
I mean, we both said how we love to help people. So.
Yeah, we love to help people.
I think that's a good goal to have long term too.
Yeah, it's just so our audience kind of grows. Long term, I think it's you know, I don't even know what this show, will even look like, as far as, you know, the structure could change, but I think just long term, I just would want to reach a wider audience and get, you know, I don't know, just affect at least one life. So
yeah, I think when we went into it, even last episode, we had like such a wide range of things we were trying to touch. So I'll be anxious even for us to see what route we take moving forward and things that we touch on, because I think that we have a lot of ideas, but how we're going to put those into action, not quite sure yet.
Yeah, not sure yet.
But
I'll probably figure it out.
You did a good job.
Wow, thank you.
A little Q&A session.
I was nervous that the questions were going to be harder than that.
No.
Okay.
I think it was just
I'm going to ask you hard questions, yours.
Oh, don't.
No, I'm just kidding. I won't do that.
You will.
Maybe I will.
Yes, you will. I think, no, I didn't want it to be like surface level, but I didn't want it to be like super in-depth either, because then that leaves us in-depth questions for us is like down a rabbit hole, and then we would be here for 2 hours. So I think that was just a good way for a little introduction, and then we'll get into who we are a little bit more too moving forward. But I think that was just a good.
Well, who you are.
Well,
they already know way too much about me.
No, they don't.
No.
That's because you're more fun.
No, I'm not more fun. She's more fun. Yeah.
Any closing thoughts? Comments? What you did was say, I forgot, you said you wanted to do like, you'd mentioned in the car on the way here, like a call-in line or something cool.
Yeah, so.
To incorporate people.
Yeah, I think one of my ideas would be for those of you watching, it would be cool to, and I'll probably put the questions out on our Instagram, and I can put, our Instagram and maybe a TikTok later down the road. I'm not sure. I don't like that app, but maybe a TikTok. I'll link that in the podcast description, the links. And then if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be like up here or like down here somewhere. But I'll probably ask you guys to get involved on Instagram. And if you have any ideas on how to get like involved in this podcast show, whatever you want to call it, I want to get you involved in it. I don't know, somehow. You can ask us questions, or if you want us to talk about a certain topic, or like a current event, or celebrity, sports, whatever. I would love to do that. I love hearing from other people. If we're talking about sports,
we might put my mom on the podcast.
Anything with Pittsburgh sports. She is the biggest.
She knows so much about sports.
It's great.
It's
I love it.
Funny.
It's so great. Yeah, that's all she sends on Instagram.
You guys are so similar in that aspect.
Yeah, we love sports. Like yeah.
But
yeah,
I think that's a good way. I think we definitely want to incorporate the audience somehow, or the one viewer listening.
No, we have more than one.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be fun. I mean, we definitely, like we said on the way here, we wanted to get maybe people on the podcast. Anybody that wanted to come on. My sister keeps saying.
We're gonna get people on the show too.
She is a hoot, so
for sure. No, I'm not joking.
She'd be lively on the podcast. So
yeah, we're gonna get people on. We're gonna bring. We'll bring family, friends. I know a good handful of people that I would want to ask. To be on it. We're going to get people on it, and we're going to do some cool stuff, really cool stuff. So, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you can, before we go, what is it? Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah. So if you could leave a like and a comment and then a subscribe wherever you're listening or watching, that would be fantastic, and we would greatly appreciate it because it helps us out in the long run. And share with your friends. So use the share friends in your family. Share with the friends.
You know all the features. I don't.
You'll get used to it.
You still say, do you still use YouTube on the browser? And I say, yeah.
Oh yeah, she doesn't even have the YouTube app on her phone. We got to work on that. No, but you do you, baby.
All right. Well, I guess till next time.
Yeah, I think we're gonna sign out. So we will see you guys in episode 3. Thank you for tuning in.
Bye.
I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. So, we'll see you later. Winston says bye with his paw down here.
He's still napping.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Later.